Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've just seen you all come in here. This is so exciting. Can you all hear and see me? Just checking in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. Lots of yeses. Wonderful. Okay. Hi, I am Anneli, and welcome to this talk about marketing for language teachers. Um, I'm going to introduce myself quickly and also talk about why we need more language teacher rebels in the world as well. But yeah, I can see you've already written in the chat which country you're from. Maybe just pop in which language you teach as well, or which one you would like to start teaching. That would be so great. So I can just have a little bit of a feel for what you guys are doing. Oh, wonderful. Great. Okay, I'm so happy to see so many of you here today. Wow. Okay, I'm super excited let's talk about how you can market yourself online as a language teacher today. If you have any questions during this talk, please could you put them in the Q&A and not the chat, and then I'll hopefully have a bit of time in the end and I can just take some of your questions. Okay, so I'm going to start by sharing my screen and go into bit of a presentation mode here. Here we go. Okay, so yes, hello, I'm Anneli. I'm a language teacher rebel. I teach Swedish online and I also help other language teachers set up and grow their business online. And I work online as a language teacher for a number of reasons. I want the freedom to work from anywhere, especially on the sofa with the dog. I also want to have the creativity and flexibility in my business so I can do exciting and fun projects. And I also want to help as many people as possible worldwide. I want to make connections and build cultural bridges across kind of geographical boundaries. And this is a map from our Facebook group for my Swedish business, showing you where our members live. And I just find it so inspiring to see what kind of reach you can get as an online language teacher. So I set up Swedish Made Easy in 2007, quite a long time ago, as you can tell from these pictures. This was even before Skype was widely used. And I've since taught over 20,000 hours online. I've set up a website, a booking system, social media channels, created materials, written books, online courses, and so on. But for me, it's not just about teaching on the beach, as I call it, the kind of digital nomad lifestyle. So being a language teacher rebel for me and an online language teacher is more than that. We are becoming more and more global, of course, but media, and in particular social media, is going in the opposite direction. And social media algorithms now, as I'm sure you know, make sure that we can only see what we are interested in and what we believe in. So we live in so-called filter bubbles these days online. But still, many of our problems are global. The environment, economy, social justice, and so on. And we are seeing waves of extremism. We're seeing shifts towards isolationist and protectionist policies, new physical boundaries between countries, and breaking out of established unions. And to solve global issues, we desperately need global conversations. And teaching a language can support global conversations and help people to express themselves and understand different cultures on a deeper level. But not everyone wants to become an activist or a politician. I don't. But we, language teachers, we can make a positive impact as bridge builders, as filter bubble poppers, as story sharers, networkers, and integration enablers. Now, even though I've been doing this for a long time now, now is actually a really good time to start building your own language teaching business online. And why is that? Well, of course, we're more digital now than ever before. The possibilities today are really quite amazing what you can do. You can run your whole business from a laptop or actually even a smartphone. And we've also all seen how quickly the whole world can change drastically, like we've seen this year. So having something that you can control yourself, like your own business, is really powerful. And also, we haven't actually seen the full effects of the digital revolution yet. And that is because there's usually a 20 to 30-year time lag on technological innovations. So it usually takes between 20 and 30 years from when something is invented to when it becomes widely popular. So you can see the TV was invented in the 30s, became widely popular in the 50s, first computers in the 60s, became popular in the 80s. So you can see that we've actually not even seen the full impact on the world of social media and cloud computing. So it is a good time to start. But even though there are so many resources available now online, often for free, learners still want guidance. They want structure, they want motivation, they want accountability, and they want interaction. What they definitely don't want is to spend hours and hours piecing together their own language course with bits from YouTube, bits from Facebook, bits from Instagram, bits from Duolingo, etc. They definitely don't want that. So in today's society, we are often time poor and we crave transformation. So as a language teacher rebel and as a language teacher online, you do need to invest in your business if you want to take it seriously. So you will need to invest both time and some money. And I know that both can be difficult to do, believe me. But when you invest, whether it's time or money, you will want a return on your investment. It makes you want to succeed. So for example, if you spend a bit of money on something, you don't want that money to go to waste. And this creates a pressure for you to actually do something, to take action. So that's the difference between doing something as a hobby and maybe never really getting it off the ground, procrastinating on it, and doing it as a professional and making money from it. And you're, of course, all investing your time today coming to this talk, listening to this. So yeah, investment is really important. So how can you find new students online? In a nutshell, and this really is in a nutshell, you need something to show people, and then you need to show it to them. Okay, it sounds simple, perhaps too simple, but we can break it down a little bit. We can think about what should you show, how can you create it, who should you show it to, and also how can you find the people you want to show it to, or how can you make them find you. Okay, so when you're offering something online, you need somehow to show who you are, what you do, and what your thoughts are on the topic of what you're teaching. This is how clients will get to know you and trust you. And you need to create and share something online to show that you're there, to show your presence. And that something is content. The most important thing about content that you'll create is that it has to be valuable. It has to be valuable for your clients, for your prospective students. If it's not valuable, then you're wasting your time creating it, and you're wasting your client's time having to read it or consume it, or maybe even try to ignore it. anything that you can create, publish, and share online can be regarded as content. So it could be a blog post, it could be ebooks, it could be downloadable PDFs, it can be videos, could be audio recordings, could be images, anything. But what should you focus on when you start marketing yourself as a language teacher? Well, here's what I recommend. And I call this the Language Teacher Rebel Content Starter Kit. You should focus on creating a lead magnet, some pillar content and content upgrades, and some content about yourself. Okay, so let's go into each of those and see what they are. First of all, a lead magnet, if you're not familiar with what it is something that you give away for free, some piece of content, in exchange for an email address. But it's more than just an article. And when I say more, I don't necessarily mean it has to be more words. It might be, but it needs to be the thing that you want to become known for as a language teacher. Okay, it could be an ebook, could be a free email course, could be pre-recorded webinars or a video lesson, could be a snippet of an online course. And the content should solve a specific problem for your client, and it should be so good that they can't stop talking about it. Talk about, when you're creating your lead magnet and when you market it, talk about the transformation. Have focus on the transformation that you can bring and the results. So what your clients or your students will be able to do once they've done what you're offering, okay? And then you need to set up your lead magnet so that people can give you their email address in order to download it. And you usually do this through some kind of emailing program. Typical ones are MailChimp or ConvertKit, for example. There are others too, but those ones are really common. And then you'll connect it to a landing page in the email program. And a landing page is a freestanding website that you can create in these programs where people can give their email address in exchange for something. So they give their email address, you offer the download for them. Or maybe they sign up to a newsletter or something like that. And here are some examples. Here's one that I have, which is for language teachers who want to find a micro niche, something really niche area that they can teach in. So that's what a landing page can look like. Here's another one that I've got for my Swedish Made Easy thing, where I offer a free video lesson. So, but I'm sure that you've probably seen these types of landing pages before. Okay, moving over to pillar content. What is that? Well, what I mean with pillar content is that the text that you create will be a foundation, kind of pillars in your business. So writing these texts will help you to really clarify your ideas. And the really great thing about them is that they will provide copy for you that you can use somewhere else. So for example, you can use elements of these texts on your website. You can use it as a basis for a video, maybe a podcast episode, a free download, snippets for Instagram, all sorts of things, but you only have to write these ones. Okay, so what I would recommend is 4 essential texts and 3 to 4 language specific texts. So let's go through the essential texts first. Okay, essential text 1, this is frequently asked questions, and depending on your business and your type of what you offer, they will depend on what the frequently asked questions will be, of course. But here are some of my typical ones that I use when I teach adults live one-on-one on Zoom. So typical things like, how much does the lesson cost? What are your terms and conditions? Can I get an invoice? What's your teaching schedule? How long will it take me to learn Swedish? What can I expect from a lesson? Do I need to get any books? That kind of thing. And I will, I will tell you, before I created this content myself, I would sit, no joke, I would sit and write individual emails to respond to people's questions one by one as they came in. I mean, this took so long to do, and it was a total waste of time. So you should definitely create your frequently asked questions, answer them as well, and then you can just copy and paste when the questions come in. So have a think about the ones that relate to what you're teaching or what you want to be teaching, and amend the list to suit your business. And you can always add more questions as they come in as well. The second text you're going to write is your story. You're going to talk about who you are, how you became a teacher passionate about what you're teaching, what you've been going through to get there, why you think this topic is important, and so on. And it should read like a journey to get to where you are right now. It should not read like a CV or a fleshed out CV. It should be intimate, it should be personal. You can include some tough times or challenges or unusual details maybe, so that people can really get to know you and feel that you are a real human being. You can also tell the reader a bit about what you're passionate about, what you believe in. Try and focus a bit more on why you're doing things in a certain way rather than how and what when you talk about yourself, because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Now, I know that some people might find the idea of writing this type of text a bit self-indulgent, and I totally understand that. You might feel that, you know, my business is not about me, it's about my students, my topic, my content. But these types of texts are one of the most powerful stories that you can create for your business, because they really resonate with people. People want to know about you. They want to understand who it is behind the computer or behind the screen. And it builds a high level of trust, which is one of the most important aspects when it comes to someone deciding to actually spend money with you. Okay, so they can see that you're a real authentic person that they can have a relationship with. You're not just a fancy website. Okay. Essential text 3, mistakes I see people make and how to avoid them. This type of text is from the perspective of you, the teacher, and what you've seen people struggle with in the past and how to overcome these challenges. Now, obviously, this will depend on, you know, what your niche is about, what you teach and so on, but you can probably already think about some things that most of your students find difficult. And if you come up with a lot here, I would recommend to split them up into different texts. You don't have to write them up all at once, but like keep a Word document perhaps with some of the other ideas and you can add to it later. Just pick the one that you think that your potential students will find most useful and start with that one. Okay. Essential text 4, the myth buster. Now, this is a text where you are going to bust the top 3 to 5 myths that people believe about the topic that you teach. It could be a general text dealing with the myths about learning a language, or even kind of learning a language as an adult or anything like that. But it could also be something that is more specific relating to your particular niche that you teach in. But whatever it is, your goal with this text is to explain the myth and then why it's not true. And by challenging these misconceptions that people might have about the area that you work in, you will actually deal with the main fears and misconceptions, and you will help them to overcome their doubts about why they should start teaching, start learning with you, why they should do business with you. So this is a really, really powerful text to create, and that's why it's essential. Okay. You're also going to create some language specific text. And they will relate more closely to exactly what it is you're teaching, maybe even within a niche. You can start by choosing 3 to 4 themes that relate to your topic that you want to teach. But if you struggle to think of any right now, you can just use the more generic ones too, just to get you going. You can write something about the culture of your country, one on a grammar point, one about something around pronunciation, and maybe one that's a bit more vocabulary based. Okay. So next up, you are now going to create content upgrades for your language specific texts. And if you're not already familiar with the concept of a content upgrade is a free download that you attach or you link to a blog post or maybe an Instagram post or a Facebook post or a webinar or anything like that. It should be super useful, and it should help people to save time, organize themselves maybe, or give more detailed information about a topic so people can go deeper. Now, even if you're not starting a blog right now or ever, it's super useful to create these alongside of your language specific texts, and you can use them in many different ways. Further on, you can repurpose them for other types of marketing. And yeah, here are some examples of the content upgrades that are perfect for language teachers. So could be cheat sheets, could be glossaries or tables, checklists, worksheets, roadmaps, trackers, also very popular, audio downloads, video downloads, maybe also like links to exercises, could be a password protected vocabulary list in a flashcard program like Quizlet or something like that. And I would recommend get into the habit of creating the content upgrade when you write any type of text. I honestly wish I have done this when I started, because I mean, you can go back to older blog posts. It is absolutely doable to do that and attach a content upgrade, but it is so much easier if you do it at the same time, because then you don't have to try and shoehorn the content upgrade to fit the blog post. So that would be my recommendation. And just like you were doing with your lead magnet, you will create landing pages for each content upgrade so that when people want to download them, they have somewhere to sign up to, and you can capture their email addresses. Don't forget that step. And once you've started getting some subscribers into your email list and you start building it, it starts to grow, then you can start engaging with your email lists further on and sending them kind of emails and offer more things. Thirdly, content about yourself. Okay, you need to create some content about yourself as well. And here's what I would recommend. If we start with photos, take a couple of headshots of yourself. Think semi-formal, so not like suit or blazer type thing, but it doesn't have to be against a white background either. It can be kind of, yeah, semi-formal, could be outside, something like that. As long as it's not super casual either. And next up, you should take some behind the scenes photos. Now, people love behind the scenes photos because, again, it brings that sense of you being a real person, and people love having a sneak peek behind the curtains of a business. So try and take 10 photos of behind the scenes. You can stage them to begin with, so you got something to start off with. Later on, you can take more photos in this category. But here are some examples of things that you can do. You can take a picture of your desk from different angles, close-ups, further back. You can take personal photos, so maybe a photo of a cup of coffee from your break, of you sitting in the sun outside between lessons, something like that. Could be pictures of your favorite book or pictures of a favorite place in your country. Could also be pictures of you working. it could be pictures of what you're creating. So for example, if you're sat creating essential language text, you can take pictures of those language texts. So given that sense of work in progress, this is going to come out. It can be with you in the picture or not, preferably both, actually. I would take several. And you should also stage, if you can't do it real, stage a couple of photos when you're teaching as well. And then just add some more nice, more casual selfies as well, because they're always good to use in places like Instagram. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. And then videos, you can start by recording a couple of short videos. If you have a smartphone, you can use it to record. Most smartphones have great cameras these days, and it does not have to be perfect. Just make sure that the background is fairly plain and that you're looking decent. Okay, you can do one where you're introducing yourself and what you do, no more than 3 minutes. This could be a short one, couple of minutes. And then you can also do frequently asked questions. So you can do one video per question, and you can actually do the ones that you have done in your essential text. Okay, so post the question and then answer it. Those are great for posting as well and reaching out on social media. So, and if you want to add a bit more fun, then you could also record like a couple of videos of you doing some tongue twisters maybe into the camera or something. I've posted some of those on both on Instagram and Facebook a couple of years ago, and they were super short. They were like 15 seconds, and I broke down and I was laughing because I couldn't say them fast enough, but people loved it and they requested more. So think of something that could be a little bit more fun as well to add into your videos. Okay. Now, when you are in creation mode, it's really useful to use templates, because when you're working with marketing in particular, you will be doing similar things many times. And the worst thing that you can do is start from scratch every time you do something. You don't want to be reinventing the wheel every time. So when you go through a process, when you write a text, when you write an email, when you answer questions to students, when you come up with a content upgrade, write it down. Create checklists, email scripts, all sorts of things, workflow sort of runs where you can follow a process so that you can copy and paste or follow and tick certain things off next time you need to do something similar. And I will really, really recommend the workflow ones as well, because if you're doing something online and it's the first time you're doing it, you have to Google and figure out how to do it. Write it down, which buttons to press, which options to select, and then you don't have to Google it next time you do it. But yeah, email scripts as well, if you're sending a lot of emails, answering questions, that kind of thing. Now, if you think that this sounds like a lot of hard work, I've actually put my own templates into a toolkit that you can buy and download and just fill in your own details. It's on my website. And this weekend you can get it for half price. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, go to my website and check it out. Okay. So where can you show your content? I'd recommend that you set up at least one social media channel to begin with, and set up a very simple website. This can be a long, 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 long discussion. And the social media channels, they all have the pros and cons, like which one shall I choose? And it depends very much on where your prospective students hang out, right? Because if you need to reach teenagers, then TikTok is probably better than Facebook. But if you're looking to attract 30 plus, then Facebook for sure, definitely. Instagram is pretty good for a wide reach, as long as you utilize the hashtags properly to reach more feeds. Do not forget to use hashtags when you're hanging out and posting things on Instagram. Also, don't overlook your own profile if you have them on these platforms. You can start post there. You can post there without setting up separate profiles for your business. And actually, family and friends are more likely to give you a thumbs up, to like it, to share it, to comment. And that's always good for the algorithms. So don't miss out on that one. Same with LinkedIn as well. Don't miss out on your own profiles. You should also start hanging out on social media in your capacity of your business, your language teacher. And you can do this on Instagram or Facebook. You can do it whatever you want, but Instagram or Facebook are just such big platforms that they are quite effective. Facebook might be easier to start with because then you can join Facebook groups within the area that you teach. As I'm sure you know, there are groups on Facebook about almost everything. So many people are there already. So you can find a group in your niche where you teach and see if you can find your ideal student there. Now, your job in these types of groups, if you go down this route, is to provide value in the comments. Explain, share useful tips, ask questions. Do not post any promotion or try and sell anything at this stage. If you start posting about something that you offer straight away as you come into a group, you will come across as spammy and rude. And the admin of the group may even block you. So don't do that. You need to serve before you start to sell. Okay? And when you post questions or comments, just keep the language clear, friendly, helpful. And if you make connections, or if people ask you follow-up questions, you could offer sending them a private message. Again, don't hard sell here. You could send them a link to a really useful blog post on your website, maybe, or somewhere else where they can see what you do. Or just share something that they'll find helpful. Just point them in that direction, but without selling. If you're just being helpful and kind, and then make sure that people also can see what you do and what you offer. So make sure that they can tell from maybe like your profile bio in Instagram or Facebook as your title or something like that. And that's great. And as you set up your business, you will start to gain followers and students will start to find you. But there are 2 ways that you can supercharge this process and reach a bigger audience fast, even if you don't even have your own website. And that is guest posting and webinars. Okay, guest posting. What I would say is try and think of someone who might serve the same audience as you, but with a different service or a product. So in other words, not a competitor. And you can then approach them, the person, the organization, the company, and suggest a collaboration. For example, guest posting on their blog. You obviously need to write a good quality article for this, but it's a great way to get you in front of a new audience. You can probably repurpose something that you've already written as a part of your pillar content, and you should definitely include some kind of free download to this as a bonus, and you can hook it up to your email program so that you can also grow your email list. Webinars, that's another way that you can find new students quickly. You can run a free webinar on a specific topic that you know that many people struggle with. You can focus on one thing that you can help them with so that they can walk away from the webinar with a quick win. You can market your webinar on social media. You can share it with everyone you know, ask them to share and so on. Or if you want to, you could put a little bit of money as a test, perhaps, maybe 10, 15 pounds to start off on boosting a post in Facebook or on Instagram or something like that, if you want to. Webinars can be very powerful because you can show off your teaching and build trust, and your prospective students will feel like they're connecting with you. They feel like they're with you. They can see you, they can hear you. It's super powerful. Make sure that you get people's email addresses when they register. It could be a landing page where they can get access to the webinar link once they've registered. And you can run this kind of webinar on Zoom or as an unlisted live stream on YouTube. Another useful thing to remember is to record the webinar so that you can share it later if you want. Or you can even pull little clips out of it and use in your marketing. Okay. Whew, goodness me. Just to recap, you need some content to show, and you should focus on these three things. Create a lead magnet, create pillar content and content upgrades to go with it, and create some content about yourself. Set up at least one social media channel, but don't forget your own profiles on social media. Share there too. And if you want to supercharge your reach, you can build relationships with a view to maybe guest post, and you can look into webinars as well. Okay, and I have a little special thing for you today, which is a little download, which is actually a checklist of what I've just been going through, because I realized there's a lot of things to take in here. So I've created a little 3-pager, 4-pager content starter checklist. So that just has the headlines of what you should be focusing on. And as I'm sure you realized already, this is my content upgrade for this talk. So you can find it on my website, annelihaake.com/language show. And it goes really nicely with following this talk. Oh, goodness me. Right, I'm going to come back to you guys. I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to come back to you, and I'm going to dive into me Q&A, because we do have got about 7 minutes. So, I can't wait to have a look at the chat a little bit later on. I won't have time to read it all, but I'm going to dive into the Q&A and see if I can answer some questions. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness me, so many interesting questions, and they would take a long time to talk through. How much should you invest approximately? Oh goodness me, yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, that would clearly depend on your budget and so on. But I guess what I was trying to say was that don't be afraid to invest a little bit. You will have to invest a little bit, both time and money. And I say that from someone, I find it really hard to invest. I'm just like, oh God, this feels scary. But when you do, if you sign up for, maybe if it's some kind of like an email program or something like that, maybe you build monthly, and all of a sudden you just think, oh crikey, I now really have to make this thing take off. So that's what I meant, is like, I don't have an exact figure, but like, invest in things to do with systems and processes. I think that's a good place to start. Maybe a booking system, definitely an email program, things like that, or maybe some coaching or some online courses that will help you. Don't know, but don't be afraid to invest. You will have to do it at some point, and it's a good motivator. It's a kick up the backside. Okay, how can my website be at the top of the Google list? Oh, goodness me, this is also a talk in its own right, I have to say. But I'm pretty sure I've got a thing on this on my website on how you can actually kind of check, SEO check your website a little bit. I'm pretty sure. If not, email me and I can give you some more detailed answers on that. Okay, would you recommend Facebook business page to advertise for online teaching? I would definitely recommend a Facebook business page. You should definitely have a Facebook business page, yes. It's not going to be the only thing that you put your marketing focus into, but I think definitely you should have one, and you should post kind of regularly, weekly there. You should engage with people there, share fun things. I don't know, just kind of have a presence. So yeah, definitely a Facebook business page is great. And it sounds so corporate when you say business page, but you know, you can make it very personable. Okay. Oh, is it necessary to create a website or is a landing page enough? You can totally build an email list without a website. You do not need a website to build an email list. You can have landing pages, but remember that landing pages capture email addresses. So that's what they do. So a landing page is not something that you can kind of go, hello, here's my, this is what I do, and kind of set up a booking system and that kind of thing. So it's different. It's a place where people can sign up to join your newsletter or download something or whatever. But you can definitely, I mean, some people don't have a website or a blog, and they just have like almost like a newsletter that they send out, and they engage with their email list that way. So yeah, it's not, I'd recommend to have some kind of website, but I would definitely say, out of the priorities, start building your email list first. Definitely don't waste a lot of time designing a website. I mean, if you're going to do something, set up an email list and start building that. Content upgrades, lead magnet, and try and share that. Oh my God, I'm out of time. Guys, I have to go. It's been so great. Thank you so much for coming. This is a crazy amount of people. I'm so, so grateful. And I was really nervous today. Oh gosh, I'm going to have to, I don't know, go and take a breather. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I couldn't answer all your questions, but please stay in touch. Go to my website, email me, sign up to my email list, and yeah, hopefully see you soon. Okay, I'm going to sign off now, and you guys have a wonderful day. Okay, take care. Bye.